How is your day?
Good. Just starting. We're in the process of moving. So, because we're moving to our new place now. So we have to be out by this Monday. So we have like all week. We had like all week to move. So we're in the process of moving everything over to the new place. So it's been quite busy the last week. And actually last weekend we went to a kirtan in town, and it was so much fun, man. It was a blast.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You are searching the new name. How are you feeling in that name, Jigyasu? Is it okay?
I love it. You know what's interesting is I would say like my first guru, my first teacher out here, like in yoga, I guess in a yoga way of thinking, was his name is Jivasu. And so I thought, oh, it's kind of neat. It's so close to, and every time I saw his name, like I just felt like a connection to it. So the Jinasu is really neat. I like it a lot.
Okay. Jigyasu means it means the person who is trying to seeking, means it's just like a seeker. You can say in English it is seeker. The person who is a seeker is called Jigyasu.
Jigyasu. Yeah, I love it. I love the name of it. It sounds perfect, and the definition is definitely correct. How was your week?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. It's evening time in India.
Yeah.
So whole day already finished. I teach near about 3-4 class today.
Oh wow.
Visit to some local people. I went to some temple. I went to some village area. I went there and I collect some young people, and I try to give them asana class. And after asana, I give them a little bit some motivation, like what is life, why we born in this world, what is the purpose of this life, how the problems comes to our life, and how to face properly. Many of us, they only face the problem and they become stressful. Nowadays young people, they are lots of confusion. They don't know which side they go. They go in right direction or wrong direction. They don't know what is right, what is wrong.
Right.
So I motivate the young people in about 30-40 minutes, and I take some question answer from them. Today I enjoy a lot because I listen lots of very lots of curiosity from the students. They want to know. Actually, very few people now ready to listen the young people. Now parents or teachers, they want to listen what they want to listen. They don't want to listen what students want to talk. They only want to listen what they want to listen.
Right. Very true.
Did you got my point?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You only hear what you want to hear, and you're not listening to what they're actually trying to say.
Yeah. Very simple way. We are just trying to impose our dream, our thoughts, and our desire to the students.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are now not parents. Now we are becoming the businessman, simply dealing with the child. We are giving you these things. You have to return in this way, becoming number one in the class, becoming best person in the world. Just by this way you return us. Otherwise you have no choice. So,
That's right. Actually, I wouldn't mind even maybe we talk about a little bit about that in a podcast, because I think it's a very good point. Because we're all trying to figure out how to be a good parent, right? And I wouldn't mind diving a little bit deeper into that way of thinking with you. But we can worry about that on another podcast. We'll carry on with the sutras here.
Yeah. So today we'll continue. So let us start with one prayer, simple prayer, Om chanting. So join your both palms together, back straight, neck straight. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Let's pray to the divine. Give us the energy, give us the knowledge to speak, to discuss all the positive things. If I commit any mistake, forgive by thinking it's my mistake. Let's study some universal truth. Let's go and dive towards the deep knowledge of yoga. Gently rub your both palms on your eyes, a little bit massage your eyes, your face. With smiling face, gently open your eyes and come back. Once again, welcome to this podcast. Myself, Pradeep. So I will just recap whatever we discussed last time. So last time we discussed about the what will happen if we practice yoga. The first point I discussed, tadadrashtuhu swarupya avasthanam. If we practice yoga, slowly, we will come back to our nature. And our nature is the soul or the consciousness about our original nature, that we are the human, we have the soul, we have the intelligence, we have the mind, we have the prana, we have this body. So this kind of consciousness, the deeper consciousness will develop and we will be free from all the duality, all the negativities, all the confusion. The clarity will come to our life. So yoga is very beneficial. And we also discussed, if we not practice yoga, we will be vritti sarupyam itaratra. We will move here, there with all the flickerings of our mind. Our mind will make us disturbed and we will be always fluctuating. Our life will be more miserable. We will suffer more and more. So yoga is a very good study to improve our human life, especially our animal life will reduce, we will come to the normal human life, and then slowly we go towards to become a great human, then superhuman, and finally we can become the divine being. So yoga have a acceleration process. It is a very nice process or a system to improve slowly, step by step, from animal nature to the divine nature. And also we discussed how to control our mind or our chitta, our inner being, how we can control, how to control the flickerings or the fluctuations of our mind. So Patanjali gave us a very nice sutra we call Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tan Nirodha. We want to nirodha, we want to control our chitta vritti. That can be controlled by two things. One is abhyasa, regular practice, and vairagya, the detachment from the negativities. So that abhyasa, if we cultivate some good practices regularly, it gives us a very solid foundation we call Drida Bhumi. There is 3 steps in practice how we can build a solid foundation. The first point is regular, and second is continuous for long time, regular, long time, and third one is positive attitude. So if we regularly practice for long time with positive attitude, that practice give us a very strong foundation in our yoga life. And simultaneously, we have to do the vairagya, which is called the detachment from the negativities. That also in three ways. One is visaya. We have to detach from the different subject of our senses. Just like the eyes want to watch something, so that view is a subject or visaya for the eyes. Our ear want to listen, so that sound is the visaya or subject for the ear. Nose want to smell, so that smelling is one visaya for the nose. Tongue want to taste, so that taste is the visaya. So we have to bring back our senses from that subject or the visaya. So not listen, not watching, not smelling, not tasting. We have to detach from that subject. Many of us, maybe we talk it's not possible, but by practicing regularly, it can be possible, slowly, slowly, step by step. Maybe we can come like this way. If we are so much attached with watching movie, let's come back to the good movie, to the inspirational movies, and then slowly, slowly reduce the movies. And one day will come, we will be free from watching the movie. But maybe beginning, it's very difficult. So we can segregate, we can reduce from the negativities, come to the positive, then slowly, slowly from positive, we will slowly, slowly become neutral. So yoga will bring you back slowly, slowly. So today we will talk about the different types of practitioner. I will come there. But before that, I want to tell more points on the detachment or vairagya. The first one is detached from the subject, and then we have to be bitrushna. We have to be free from that object. For we have to be detached completely. Otherwise, mind will bring you again and again. For example, today your teacher is in front of you. You maybe not eat so much. But if there is no teacher, your mind will bring you back again and you will eat more. So mind will take you again and again. So Bitrushna means you have to always try to be completely free from your sense objects. And the last point is Basikara. Basikara means you have to completely master over your senses. Your mind is going here, there, want to eat that, want to listen that, want to smell that. So you have to bring it back again and again, again and again. And finally, you make it master over that. So when you cross over these 3 points, it leads you completely detachment. So these 2 things you have to do, abhyasa and vairagya. This can help you to realize your own nature. So this much we discussed last time. Today we'll discuss more the result of this detachment. If we detach and if we practice the good things and control over our senses, what will happen? You will get the Purusa Khatir Guna. You will come back to understand that you are the soul. You are the Purusa. In Sankhya philosophy, they are talking about Purusa. We are the part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. So that Purusa nature will come back. And in verse number 17, it was called, when you realize that I am the Purusa or I am the soul, that state of consciousness is called Sampragyata Samadhi. Sampragyata, you will understand you'll realize your own nature. And that time you will have no tarka. That time, that state of consciousness, you will have no feelings of argument. You don't want to prove anything. You will be free from all the argumentative things. Means if someone talk you something, you not fight with them. You not ready to show that I am this, I am that. Means you no feeling of proof that you are good or bad. The argumentative nature will be remain silent. You will not feeling more argumentative. And second is bichara. Your thoughts will be very positive. You will not thoughts in negative way. Your thoughts will be good. Sometimes you will be free from all the thoughts. You will remain in the nature of soul. So no argument, no thoughts. And ananda, you will be remain in bliss. And asmita, you will have free from the ego-ness. You will not live with the ego. Nowadays, it's very, very difficult to be free from ego. This three-letter ego, it makes many people problem. So that ego-ness will be go away when you are in the higher consciousness that is called sampragyata. You will remain in the nature of soul. Rupanugamat, you will be free from all the form. You're not thinking about, oh, I am black, I'm white, I'm from this country, I'm this, I'm doctor, I'm engineer. That the form of your this human, that will be not comes to your mind. You will be free from the form or the shape of this life. Means you will be free from argumentative, means no argument in your life. Second, no thoughts. Third is you'll be remain in bliss. Fourth is asmita, no ego, no highness, and no form. But here have the impression. You may be in that higher state, but you have the impression that you are from this country, you have some impression of your past action. But if you practice this regularly, slowly in future, by practicing some points I will discuss in next verse, Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi Prajna Purvaka, you will slowly become, will go to the state of asampragyata samadhi. You will be completely free from all the impressions. If you have the belief, shraddha in yoga, if you practice yoga regular with belief, with faith, with trust, that yes, by practicing yoga, I will be realize my nature. I will be free from all the duality of my life. That shraddha, that faith will take you up. And virya, if you control, if you regulate your inner energy, that we call celibacy, if we control over the celibacy, if we maintain the celibacy, it will bring you up. And smriti, if you completely introspect your memory, many of us, what we are thinking, we never rethink about that. So memory is very important in our life, what we think, what we talk. So memory is very important. We have to introspect our memory regularly. And high concentrate force means we have to do meditation regularly. And then profound insight, we have to sometimes self-study, like what we call in yoga swadhyaya. Regularly we have to check what is our progress, how we are going towards our goal. So these kind of points, if we follow slowly, we will go towards the self-realization, and that is called awesome pragyana samadhi. We will remain in the nature of soul. We have no impressions of this samskara or this material life. So this is a very high level practices, but we can go step by step. In yoga we call, if you have tibra sambhega, if you have very intense desire, if you practice yoga very intensively, you will reach that self-realization state very fast. If your speed is slow, you will reach your goal later, or it will take some more time. But if your practice is very intensive, you will reach a little bit more faster. So according to this, there are 3 levels of sadhaka or the practitioner according to Patanjali. So Patanjali talking in the verse number 22, there are 3 levels of sadhaka. One is mrudu, second is madhya, and third is adhimatra. Mrudu means the beginner or who practice very slowly, very simple way. And the second is madhya, means the intermediate or the medium speed. And the third one is adhimatra, or we call the advanced level of practitioner. So now the question coming, if I not practice regularly like this way, what can I do? Can I practice yoga? Because many of us nowadays, most of us, very rare to become like this, means regular practice, long time practice with positive attitude, no, not very much intensive. So how we can practice? So Patanjali giving the another sutra or another formula, that Ishvara Pranidhana. We have to completely surrender to the Ishvara or to the divine God. If you cannot regulate your life, if you cannot follow the above principles given by the Patanjali, he gives us very simple another formula, that is called Ishvara Pranidhana. We have to completely surrender to the God, or we can call as Ishvara. Now many of us, now they are giving question mark when the name of God comes. So Patanjali giving in next verse, who is the Ishvara? He's talking about the God, or we can say the divine. Who is the God or Ishvara? So Patanjali talking, Klesa karma vipaka asaya paramustaha purusa visesaha Ishvara. He giving the definition. First point, klesa. Ishvara who have no klesa, no problems in their life. Second point, karma, who have no action, who is not bound to do some action. But we people are bound to do action. And the third point is vipaka, who have not controlled by the results of the action. And next is the paramusta, not developed or by the subconscious motivation. So God, how we know who is the God? First point, who have no problems. Second is who is not bound to do any action. Nobody force him, oh, you do this, you do that. But we people have lots of problems and we are bound to work. And who is not suffering by the result of the action or not enjoying the actions, the result of the action. So if we see this verse, it is very clear that God is above this material life. And He is the divine because He is the controller. He is not controlled by anyone. We people, we are the controlled by the nature. We are controlled by our mind. We are controlled by the material world that in yoga we call the Maya. It is the external energy of the God. First, God tests us. If we want to be happy, if we want to be free from this material suffering, we have to take the path of yoga. We have to accept the journey of yoga, and slowly we'll reduce, we'll cut down all the impurity, all the big problems developed by this material body, by this mind, by the nature. And slowly we go towards the divinity. Like if I want to become a businessman, if you want to become a rich man, I have to learn how to do the business, how to become the rich. So likewise, if I want to go towards the God, I have to learn what are the different paths, how I can go towards the God. If we not learn, we cannot go. So yoga is a study of learning how to go towards the divinity, how to become pure. Without purity, we cannot go towards the divine God, because God is pure and God is completely free from all the negativities. For example, we have the desire, we have the greed, we have the anger, but God not have. So if you want to go towards Him, we have to free from all these kind of negativities. So in yoga we call sadaripu, 6 impurities. One is kama. Kama means the desire, or we call the lust. Krodha, anger. Mada, attachment. Moha, matsarya. So there are many negativities, or we call the enemies inside our this life. So we have to free from all these enemies, and then we can practice yoga very nicely, and we can come to the God. So that's why there is a different path we call bhakti yoga, the path of devotion. So Patanjali mentioned here, there is a very simple way to realize ourselves that I am the soul by surrendering to the Ishvara or the God. And how is that Ishvara? Who is free from all the problems, who is not bound to do any action, and who is not attached with the result of the action, who is free from all this material suffering, who is very higher than us, and we are the Purusa, and he is the Vishesha Purusa. We are the simple soul, individual soul, and Ishvara or the God is the supreme soul, and he is very Vishesha, he is very unique. We are the, for example, there are many human in this world, but somebody who become very special, so we give respect. So God is also a soul, but he is very special soul, and he is very powerful. So we are the just a replica of the Supreme Soul, but our power is less than the Supreme Soul. But we have the same qualities, like God is very pure, so our soul also very pure. God is very loving, we are also very loving. God is very beautiful, we human also very beautiful. God is very intelligent, we are also have the intelligence. God is very powerful, have the strength, we also have the strength. God is very kind and compassionate, we are also feeling the kindness and compassion. So if we see, we all have the same qualities, but our the quantity is less and his quantity is higher. So, but if we connect with him, for example, the small source, if connect with the bigger source, it can get the same energy and it can become more bigger. So it is a journey in yoga, it is a journey of the individual soul to unite or to connect with the super soul. So this is a very beautiful journey. It's take time, step by step. It depends on our intention, how we intensify our journey. Sorry. If we have the burning fire, if we have the very desire is burning, then in yoga it is called mumukshatva. To achieve the salvation, we have the very big intention, big desire. We cannot live without the salvation. If that kind of burning desire within us, then our goal will achieve very soon. So it's depend in which level we are. We are in the beginning state or intermediate state or in advanced state. So let us, where we are, let's keep moving. So in yoga we call Charaivati. Let's move forward and forward, not remain in one place like the water in the pond, not become the water in pond, flow in a river. Just keep going, keep forward moving, keep moving, and one day will come, our practice will be end and we will achieve the Supreme Soul. We can realize our human nature. Just keep practicing. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. That was a wonderful presentation. Very meaningful. The practices with the three practices, what would be like, how would we know if we're practicing like less, in the middle, or we're going like intense? How do we know the difference? Like, I would say more comparable to like the Western world, because we all have jobs and we're all trying to take care of a family or something like that. We haven't really devoted completely ourselves here. So what would be the three stages? What would that look like?
Very simple. If you have the guru, then he can give you the level and he can advise you how is your practice, because the student cannot judge himself, the guru will judge him. But yes, if you have no guru, you can judge by this way. It's my personal experience, I'm just telling how much your senses is controlled. If you think your senses is not controlled, even 10%, it means we are in beginner state. But if you think your senses is controlled, then you feeling your senses is 50-60% control. So it means you are advancing to the intermediate. And if you are completely controlled, it means you are in advanced state. So you are very, very close to the yoga journey.
Oh, nice.
So senses, yeah, our senses is the we can say it is the messenger of our mind, and our mind always play the game. So you control the senses, automatically your mind will be controlled. And if your mind is controlled, your intelligence, your wisdom will comes, and by wisdom you can realize your soul.
You know what I thought was interesting, that when you talked about consumption at the beginning, it's almost like our diet. Like when we say diet, we think mainly just food, but also when we say diet, it can also be what we're listening to, like you said, what we're actually hearing from people. So from who we're surrounding ourselves from, what we're watching, like you said, on TV, and like all of this is kind of a diet, what we're ingesting into our body. And I noticed when I first started practicing yoga, what I was listening to in music wise, it started to change. And I started really thinking about, yeah, what is actually going inside me? Like when I'm listening to this music, I mean, I was rebellious in my 20s and would listen to really, some really hard stuff, which I think was needed at the time. But for me to go back to it now, it's kind of like, what am I putting into my body when I'm listening to this? And it is like, most of it is kind of negative. And do I want to be consuming this negativity? And then same with TV. And I find now, if I do sit down and maybe watch a show or something, with my wife, we tend to find something that's just more funny, or you know what I mean? Nothing that's too serious. We can do it. It's really lighthearted, and it's something that we won't take seriously, or we're taking in maybe a lesson or something from a show, maybe some documentaries or something like that. But yeah, I noticed that when I reflect, I did slowly start generating this idea of what am I consuming, without being told. And I think that's kind of neat how yoga just kind of naturally starts teaching you these things. And then to hear from you, the teacher, that, hey, this is part of the practice. It's kind of neat to see that evolve.
Yeah. Last time I told you the 5 points, you remember A, B, C,
Yeah.
D, and like that.
Yeah.
So that you follow, and I hope everybody need that kind of knowledge, to improve our yoga life. First, we need good association, because this is very, very important. If you have good association, sometimes if you forget your goal, or if you driven by your mind to the negativities, they will bring you back.
Right. Right.
So association is very, very, and especially in this time, in this busy life, we need someone to little bit pinch us, sometimes bring us back from the negativities. Otherwise, we sometimes knowingly or unknowingly we indulge with the negativities. With many, work, we sometimes we do many works which have no value.
Right.
So if we have good association, they will make us realize, hey, what you are doing is have no values. Please come back. And if you have a good network, like in business world also we can see who have very big network, they are more successful.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
if your association is good association, so you are more successful. If your
Right.
association is very bad, so you are in path of failure. So association is very, very important. I feel yoga students, they should live with yoga students. Means those who are yoga lovers, they should spend more time with yoga lovers. Then their practice will be intense. If you saw someone who is similar to you, who is younger than you, and they are more serious in their practice, so it gives you some inspiration. You feel, oh, if they can do, why not me? So association give lots of we can say boost our spiritual life.
Right.
And second is books. That is also very. I love to say all the spiritual master, they are doing tremendous job by writing the books. So it's our duty, in yoga we call, there is a depth, we call acharya runa. Rina means the depth, means we born from our parents, so it's our duty to return something. So there is a depth towards our guru, how we can return to our guru. So Shastra talking, the scripture talking, by studying their books.
Right. It's interesting. Again, when I started yoga or prior to yoga, I didn't read. And I just, it's not that I couldn't read, I just never read. I couldn't even control my mind enough to focus into, I would say, a couple sentences. You know what I mean? My mind would wander and then I would have to go back and read again and try to read it over and over. And I had a very difficult time with reading. So I never did. But after practice bringing yoga in, it developed, and I got to this point where I was like reading all the time, and I'm continuing to read all the time, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And it really didn't happen until I started practicing yoga. And before then, like, I would see my doctor and say, look, I think I need some pills to try to to control my mind so I can at least read a little bit, because I couldn't read but really wanted to. And it was just that practicing of yoga that helped me slow the mind down, that allowed me to read and get into a book. And then, and now I'm trying to dive into these yoga sutras and reading it. And thank you so much for explaining them, because it does take the knowledge of someone like you to help understand. Because when you just read it yourself, it is very, I'm finding that I'm reading the same, or I'll get so far into a sutra, then I got to go back and reflect on a couple other sutras and go back and try to read it to distinguish what he's kind of talking about. But thank you so much. Anyways, this was great, Pradeep. We look forward to continuing this on next week, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. See you next week. Have a nice day.